Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We will shortly be arriving at Heathrow Terminal 5. If you are leaving us here, please remember to take all your personal belongings with you, and we'd like to wish you a safe onward journey. We are slightly ahead of schedule, so we'll have a short break here of 15 minutes. So if you fancy going outside for stretch your legs for a little while, then feel free to do so, but please make sure you're back on the coach in good time. We will depart here at 1:10
vehicle. An assisted travel seat is available at the front of the coach. Priority is given to wheelchair users or other assisted travel customers, so please be aware you may be asked to move seats. During your journey, your driver will keep you updated with announcements during your journey when it is safe to do so. Please be considerate of your driver and other people around you throughout the journey, and be mindful of other passengers' personal space. Sexual harassment or any kind of antisocial behaviour will not be tolerated, and we will fully support police prosecution. If you feel unsafe at any time, please seek support from your driver or use our text feedback service, as shown on the window stickers. If you are listening to music or watching a film, please wear headphones to minimise noise for other passengers. Smoking of any kind and drinking of alcohol is not permitted at any time, anywhere on this coach. In the event of an emergency, safety information is displayed within this vehicle for your information. First aid kits and fire extinguishers are fitted on this coach and clearly marked. In the unlikely event of an evacuation, emergency exits are located at the front and rear. Additional emergency exits are also available at marked windows and can be broken using the emergency hammers provided. Using the onboard facilities. Toilet facilities are available on board. Please take care when using these facilities, washing your hands thoroughly after use. Arriving at your destination. When you arrive at your destination, your driver will leave the coach first to help disembark all customers safely. Please take care when leaving the coach. Use the handrails at all times. Finally, make use of our real-time coach tracker to track your journey progress. Don't forget, National Express also offer holidays, weekend and city breaks to hundreds of destinations.
This could be a tremendously important instrument. I think we need to think about all this. Now, this, of course, at the moment, is only going to apply in this country, but we need to think as whether this particular initiative, the BNG offsetting exercise, built on actually improving the environment to generate the gains which you can thus result, whether that needs to be expanded so that BNG is out there in the proper way alongside the carbon thing through the UN. Or through the
Are you suggesting that biodiversity net gain could be an international idea as well as a national one?
Exactly. It's not often this government done it ever since we left the EU becomes bereft of ideas. Nevertheless, for reasons I can go over, by the way, but it's a good one. And we should urge our governments to take expand this idea. Thank you.
That will seem like a plan, but if you want to know more about biodiversity net gain in Britain, you can watch the Sky Climate Show with me next weekend, because we've done a film about it, which is going out next weekend. Hurrah for that. Yes, there was a lady up there. Yeah, can you pass the mic through, maybe? Sorry, I just take that as a very useful statement. Thank you, Stanley.
Yeah, I would
Nice
be
to pass
interested.
the mic.
I would be interested to know what the panelists think about the fact that the indigenous communities are very often against carbon offset. Not only because it's greenwashing, not only because it brings to them the very people that are destroying their habitat, but also because they say it's wrong to commodify nature, and we don't want that, and it divides communities. So I would like to know your opinion.
Often.
Could you rephrase again?
Yeah, the lady was suggesting that often local communities, indigenous native communities, don't like the idea of carbon offsetting because some of the same people who are involved in destruction are now involved in saving, and often ignores their priorities. What's your experience of the attitudes of people within the forests to this idea of offsetting?
Our community not really introduced to the carbon offset yet. Yeah, so they don't really have the issue with this. But I know later it will be a big discussion. They've been introduced to this carbon calculator. Yeah, but they need to know how the right way to go with that.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody else wants to pick this up.
No, it just seems to be, just a quick comment on that, it just seems to be an issue of double dipping. You're destroying and then making money, and then you're replanting to make more money again. So it's something we need to be careful about, I think.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Now, where else? Who else have we got? Yes, is that what you're pointing up there? Is that where you're going with the mic? Someone in a multicoloured shirt, blue and white.
I think your comment about planting like 1 million trees and it being so untraceable is just so bang on. We did this as an initiative at L'Oreal and it was completely untraceable after we planted the 1 million trees. I was wondering, do you think that governments need to put in concrete laws around offsets? Because I sometimes think when you're trying to offset carbon emissions, it can be a bit of a luxury. For example, when you're trying to buy a plane ticket that is, the least carbon emissions is sometimes the most expensive. So do you think it falls to companies or governments to put in strict regulations around carbon offsetting?
Excellent. Yes, so I think you need to have government, business and civil society combine. How do you get that forum to work? I think they all have very different perspectives and they have different roles, and government does have the legislation and the policy framing which can then influence business. Business does have income that can be used. So I don't have a simple answer to a simple question, of course, but I think I feel strongly that if some of the outcomes we've been talking about we seek, we have to have that triangle really working effectively on the ground, but also at the policy level, and the two connected together.
Can I ask you a question? Are you still involved with L'Oreal?
No, I'm not.
Okay. So when they discovered that the tree planting hadn't been a great success, did they do something else instead?
Not yet.
Not yet.
It was more the employees asking for, proof and seeing the proof to put in, and that was it wasn't that.
Okay. I think there's a mic down here, and then I'm going to go up there. Sorry.
We've got one up here as well.
Yeah. Yes, there's someone up there. Yeah. Have you got the mic? So you get nice and punchy with the question, and we get through a few. Yep.
I just want to follow up a question from that lady that is it good to associate the nature in terms of the carbon values instead of the spiritual or cultural values? And then when you strip that or you change the whole narrative, that is not going to cause troubles in the future. And if you are going to be asking the industries instead that these people are concerning nature because of the cultural values or because of the spiritual values, and can you please shut down your carbon emission a little bit low because they are preserving nature because of these values instead of the other way around?
Sean, is it right to think, he's saying you're just looking at the carbon, not the cultural or spiritual values of a natural habitat?
As somebody who's done a part of his PhD thesis on ecosystem services, and with Paul Ehrlich as my advisor, who's been a leader in this field, I actually personally have been asking myself this question, but I think a colleague of mine, Matt Johnson, put this very elegantly. He said a plumber has a value as somebody who fixes your plumbing. You pay him for that, but he also has a value as a person. That doesn't take away from his value as a person what he does and makes money. So biodiversity has different sets of values. There's the sheer existence value of biodiversity. Just the fact that these species exist and they have a right to exist, and we can't wipe them out even if we have the power to do so. And similarly, they have the existence value, they have the ecosystem service value, they have the carbon offset value. Just having a carbon offset value doesn't negate their spiritual value, existence value, and other values. I mean, that would be my take on it, but I can totally understand there's something that does bother people like us who just appreciate them for their sheer existence, but then we have to be realistic. We're in a planet that is mostly run by capitalism, and if you just stick to that moral existence value, you kind of lose to the big business interests.
Nobody ever walked into a lovely forest and said, "Wow, 300 tons of carbon." Yeah, exactly. Gentleman there, yes sir.
Thanks for a brilliant discussion. So related to nature-based offset, carbon offset, technology-based carbon offset seem to be, that's the idea of getting the unit mass of carbon, CO2, and sticking in the ground, for example. They seem to have higher permanence, and that's the idea that they would keep that longer compared to, say, forests, for example, that could be slashed, that we've talked about here. And they also seem to have less leakage. So because that's been captured there, a plot of say a plot A, because it's been protected and sold off as carbon offsets, will not lead to people destroying plot B to make up for that. Why should we be focusing on technology-based offset instead? There seem to be quite some promising fingers to technology, I guess, related to nature-based offset.
Things like geological storage, enhanced weathering, and things like maybe even biochar, which is somewhere between the two.
And just to say, I mean, there's a question there. Does it work? Maybe I haven't really. It doesn't seem. I don't think I got the answer to the question whether carbon offset works or not. It might
be nearly now we failed to answer the question. We're getting told off now. This panel, forgive me, they may be an expert in some of the other non-biological offsetting, but does anyone want to pick up this question about whether we, in effect, should we be leaving nature to do natural things, or maybe looking at biodiversity gains rather than looking at it as a carbon sink? Other things do that better, more permanently. Anybody want to pick that up? Cool.
Well, read it. No, I didn't read it, but I personally think it's a very dangerous direction, the techno-optimism. So I think nature has to be part of the solution. Otherwise, you can always say, "Oh, we'll have technology to fix what we've done." So I personally think carbon offsets done right, with the right governance and auditing mechanisms, with NGOs on the ground involved directly, can work, and actually they will work. I believe that the math works, but just saying we'll have technology fix our problem with geoengineering or what have you, I think that's just morally wrong, and it's a dangerous direction.
Just quickly, if you can, Glenn, we've got time for one more.
Sorry,
so, and also I think the benefits to people and the addressing the biodiversity crisis are not addressed in that scenario. So I think we need both. I mean, wind farms are essential, but they're not necessarily doing much for poor people directly, nor looking after nature. So there are different routes. I'm not against technological support for our climate problem, but it is only the climate one identified. The nature one and the people one haven't really been addressed in that. So that I think is the difference.
Thank you. Just very quickly before we go, yeah, gentleman right here in the suit, yeah, you sir, just make it punchy, please.
Yeah, hopefully it's a follow-on question from the previous two. Isn't part of the problem, Sean, I think you used the term quantification, which is fraught with problems, and I think that's where it lies a lot of the criticisms so far in carbon offsetting. Could trying to measure it become a distraction for conservationists? Is enough being done to try and measure it? And if it's not the conservationists doing it, who should be charged with measuring it?
Well, I mean, I think there's a lot of good science, not just on-the-ground conservationists, but ecologists measuring it. And there are good numbers out there. There's a range of numbers, of course, this is nature. So I don't think the quantification is as much of a problem as applying those numbers honestly with good governance and auditing. I think the numbers, we have some solid numbers, and of course you can always have better numbers that are localized and apply to local ecosystems. For example, at my site in Turkey, I had to use numbers from comparable wetlands in North America, like in the same climate space and ecology. So it may be off by, I don't know, a factor of 10%, 20%, 30%, but that's still, in the right neighborhood. But I think it comes down to just governance and auditing and honesty, like it does with most things.
We are in a world where what's measurable becomes important, so we have to make sure we're measuring the right things and putting the right data in there. I'm really sorry we're going to have to wind it up there because we've gone slightly over time. So, Hop Bin, Jean, Sean and Glyn, thank you very much indeed. Please.
Welcome to the street wall. Who's this?
And I'm taking it that the remuneration is satisfactory. Normally that's the most important.
relax.
I'm not getting any. And it's boring. In this morning we have
Oh god, that's brave.
Ну-ка, кем он один? А?
Они любят.
Why don't we just go inside? Yeah, we walk around here. It's the same market.
Lale.
From Royal Thames River, and we got to see London Eye from here.
Ja, ich hätte es einfach nur gesagt wegen dem Fehlstau. Das ist konnte neben Film mit einer Frau. Echt, oh mein Gott. Damit tun die sich auch runter. Hab aber alle Filme chronologisch zu Hause, falls du gucken möchtest. Ich hatte mal 2 oder 3. Ich weiß nicht, ob das Bestand war. Ich bin so groß. Ich brauch das nicht mehr. Ich habe auch alle meine Barbie-Filme. Ich hatte den ganzen Filmsammlung weggetan. Mit 12. Ich dachte, ich bin so auf diesem Stand. Ich brauche das nicht mehr. Und meine Vergangenheit ist an, wieder das alles zu schauen. Ja, und mittlerweile bereue ich es irgendwie, weil irgendwie fände ich es richtig cool, das mal alle zum Barbie-Marathon oder so zu machen. Ich glaube, du wirst nie mehr alle finden, so einfach. Nein, voll. Da steht Jasmin. Das ist Achso, ich dachte gerade Jasmin. Ja. Ich dachte jetzt wirklich, Jasmin steht da. Welches? Unsere. Aus der Klasse. Oh, wenn ich die anschaue. Nein, aber die wird mit Y geschrieben. Wo habe ich das gesehen? Irgendwo stand das doch. Unsere Jasmin. Mr. Abbey. Jetzt müssen wir aufsteigen. Ja. Oder? Ja, doch. Das können wir auch. Und ob die ich jetzt doch behalten können? Eigentlich können wir jetzt noch eine weiterfahren, weil dann sind wir am Anfang der Brücke und dann müssen wir nur ganz kurz zuschauen. Müssen wir schon gedrückt? Ja, wir fahren, steigen eben ins
Camden Market.
Long arms, the legs are more light.
That one in this color. This one. Yes, I want this shape.
Wow, that's
Yes, can I have you
Edinburgh.
Oh yeah, we went a little yesterday.
We are going to Edinburgh, so it's this coach bus, Victoria coach bus. gate is 17. Going to gate 17 to Edinburgh.
Please make your way to the driver.
This is my bus stop to Edinburgh.
Selesai. Udah pulang lah tamunya, ngayon pulang di bandara. Jadi balik McDonald's.
Just leaving the coach here. Make sure you gather all your belongings before you leave and collect any luggage you have from underneath when we come to a halt in the stop. That's passengers for Leeds Kirkgate in a few minutes' time. Thank you.
Finally, when you go into the toilet facility, please remember lock the door behind you when you're using it. It's not the first time someone's opened the door, someone's sitting on the toilet, so keep this in mind. Lock the door when you're using it. Once you're finished in the toilet, please put in the tissue you use down the toilet pan and have been provided, flush it. Keep the facility clean and tidy the way you found it. It is a long journey up to Glasgow, we don't want to put the toilet out of commission. As for exercise, you sit back, enjoy the journey. Any problems along the road, don't hesitate. I get down and speak to the second driver, we'll see if we can sort it out for you. Coach is too warm or too cold, let us know. We'll try and adjust it so everyone's sitting comfortable. Thank you.
Dia bahasa sendiri kan ya?
Bahasanya sesuai cuma ada aneh-aneh. Ya, my bus, me bus.
Tapi orang ini selalu masih pakai ini ya, transportasi. Is this Edinburgh? We arrived in Edinburgh. Medieval city. Hello, in.
If you walk down to St Giles Cathedral, if you walk down the High Street, the old Royal Mile, it's called the Royal Mile because from the castle to the palace is about a mile, but it's nice. It's a nice walk, and it's going downhill. You can walk down, but look at the St Giles Cathedral as you go because it's quite a famous church. Oh, it's so bright.
Yeah.
It's lovely actually.
Yeah.
it's really
nice. Bring the sunshine.
You brought the sunshine,
from
which is,
Indonesia.
which is always very, really impressive. Further along here, I would get. So this is a castle here.
Oh.
Oh dear.
Yeah, this whole part is the castle, and you can get in parts of it. It's expensive, but it's actually worth doing because there's a lot of interesting history in it. It's a really, it's so iconic. It's
castle.
It's part of Edinburgh. Oh, sorry, I wasn't expecting that car to do that. Now, can I get? Oh, I can't get here. Okay. I thought I could go up that road and I can't, so I need to do something slightly different. And I would have if the police hadn't been there. So I went back, thought better not. If the police are there, they're probably going to notice that I'm there. I don't want to drive up a one-way street, but they're there, so I'm going to go down. I'm going to go into the grass market. The castle is still in my left.
Beautiful city, yeah.
It's lovely. Edinburgh is just so gorgeous, and this part where we're going now is actually very nice. It's because you'll see another view of the castle from the.
Oh yeah, the castle made of a big rock.
Yeah. It's on a volcano.
On a volcano.
It was a volcanic plug long time ago. So you've got now
the built castle in the rock.
This there. So this is the grass market, which is a very nice little area, and it's got today it's got little outside markety things. Now, and you can look. It's got they'll probably be a little bit expensive, but they'll be nice looking. But I wouldn't. You'll find them cheaper elsewhere. But they're nice to see, yeah. You would find a lot of this stuff in the charity shops. So that's
What's the name of charity shop again? What market?
Morningside.
Morningside.
Morningside is where the charity shops are. So I'm having to do a little bit of a whiz around because it's quite it's hard to explain. It's quite hard to get to. Where I'm trying to get you up to that part, and I might have to drop you off at some point because there's a lot of roads now blocked a little bit, but it's not. Again, you'll see Edinburgh's not far to walk. So this is a very old part of Edinburgh, a really old part.
What's building in the right side or?
These are some of the courts.
Cool.
Some of the. Then there's some student accommodation. There's some there's just some houses and things. But these little, what you see here, these little closes. Now I wonder, I want to try and go up one of these little closes to see if I can get up. And you can often
you can climb here. There's so many ways to the castle.
Yes, yeah.
So the castle on the left, yeah?
On the
castle left. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and I'm going to go up this road and then try and go up the street again so that I can drop you off. This is Blackfriars Street.
Oh, how old the castle?
Oh, I think 1100.
Wow.
Yeah. So this, in fact, all this part of Edinburgh is really, really old. You're in a very, there's been houses here for, probably 1100. Okay, so what I'm going to do now. So if you look down there, we are now
the water.
We're on the Royal
it's
Mile.
uphill, right?
Sorry?
We are in a hill.
We're on a hill. We're on the Royal Mile.
Oh.
This is what's called the Royal Mile. So
beautiful.
I think
it was very ancient and
yeah. So to be honest, I'm not going to be able to get
whenever convenient.
Yeah, convenience. Let us.
When and where.
Or I can maybe go this way and along. Because what you want to do is the castle is the very top of this hill. The palace is the very bottom.
Oh,
and
so
then
we can just go up.
Yeah. So you would. I might let you off here, and then you'll have to walk up. But it's not too far, and it is very nice. So you walk up.
Yeah, nice
that
building.
there is St Giles Cathedral, the building with the sort of crown on it. I don't know whether you can.
The crown.
That is.
Yeah. Wow.
That's the St
The
Giles
top like
Cathedral.
the metal.
Yeah.
Like yellow, gold metal.
So there you go, down. So I can do it, and I wonder, you know something? I wonder is it easier if I just pull out now, and because I might not get stopped there. Okay.
The ornaments.
So what I think what I'm going to do? Oh, sugar. I'm gonna do what that car is doing as well, and I'm going to pull in here and let you out because I'm not going to be able to pull in.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay.
The castle up here. You can see the sea from here. Oh, the castle, so beautiful. Fields, and you can see the city from here. The church. Oh, so many people gathering here.
Vor allem, wir hatten Nemo dabei, war auch cool.
Mountain. This is the anyway for stuff. The other side. hill. Got the signs, what's this? Past here, you can see the city from here. It's beautiful.
Between de museum. Ja, dat
There's a little narrow alleyway. It says Ladies Stairs close, so that tells me at some point somebody called Ladies Stairs would have owned this building, this tenement. Her house is just behind it. That's where the Writers' Museum is today. Now it celebrates the life of 3 people. Robert Louis Stevenson, he celebrates his birthday on Monday actually, if he was still alive. It's his anniversary. But also Walter Scott and Robert Burns. Now you notice that Robert Burns visited here when he first came to Edinburgh in 1786. Robert Burns is a very famous Scottish poet and bard. So where are you two from then? Yorkshire, right. I've already made a mistake with the lady from Yorkshire today. And it's still in my head. I meet hundreds of people a week. I asked her not to talk. And of course she started talking again. And what she doesn't realise, any performer in the world is hard. Lots of people. However, if you come here in August, this is nothing. You can't even see the cobblestones. It's that busy. So Edinburgh, if you take the visitors, the students and the population, it's the second busiest city in the United Kingdom after London. Recently I went to York Minster. I paid £16 for my ticket. I had to book online. The cathedral just ahead of you dates back to the 12th century and it's free. And of course it's stunning inside. In my opinion, it's as impressive if not more. That's where Her Majesty's body would have had the service a year ago. Recently we had King Charles III. That's where he had his mini coronation here in Scotland. Again, it's a building that's very, very old, so if you like the ECE to date, but our museums are free, our galleries are free, our parks are free. I think Edinburgh is a great city, and of course, even better when the sun shines. Now, if you look to the right-hand side, there's a little man. His name is Deacon Brodie. That would have been his warehouse, his workshop, and he made cabinets for very wealthy people. So he was well respected by day, but by night time he had another couple of families we didn't know about. He drank and also gambled, so a colourful character. Well, he was the inspiration for Robert Louis Stevenson's Jekyll and Hyde. So I don't think when you compare this mile to anywhere in the world that it can compete for colourful characters, visitor attractions. We've got the castle at the top, the palace, the parliament at the bottom. Halfway down the hill across from the cathedral where you see the flags, that's called the real Mary King's Close. You can go underneath the ground. It's very, very cool. And of course a lot of people come here to get their Nessie slippers or their Highland Coo slippers. I keep threatening to buy my fiancée a pair of these for her Christmas. This is the year it's going to happen. But again, this part of the Royal Mile called the Lawn Market, years ago this would have been a market for the sale of linen and cotton. So again, if you've got nothing better planned and it stays like this, just wander down the mile, explore these closes. Certainly just beyond the cathedral, if anybody wants to try a deep fried Mars bar, it's a real thing. It costs £4. Nobody needs one to themselves, maybe share it. And if you're thinking, is he mad? A bar of chocolate, caramel covered in batter and then deep fried, it's so much better than it sounds.
Now, when we turn the corner, we're on a bridge. It's the George IV Bridge. I pointed it out a wee bit earlier. If we were to turn left, it would take us back down to Princess Street. But by going this way, it's going to take us to our next stop, stop number 9. And that's for the National Museum of Scotland. Oh, I see a piper just ahead of us, left-hand side. Now, if you see these pipers, they enjoy getting their picture and video footage taken, so please do. Now, you might have noticed, left-hand side, there's a couple of blue dragons. So historically, dragons were thought to fend off evil. Left-hand side, the big tall building with the green dome is the Bank of Scotland's headquarters. So this would have been Scotland's first bank and also its first business. As we come along, right-hand side, this street is called Victoria Street. If you were to go down this street, it would take you back into Grassmarket. It's full of pubs and restaurants and bars and some very nice shops, independent shops for souvenirs. If you wanted to, look down now, you'll see we're about 5 or 6 stories high above the other street, the Cow Gate. Plenty of places to eat and drink here. If you look to the right-hand side, there's a red frontage of the Elephant House. It says there the birthplace of Harry Potter. That's not entirely true, but she did finish the first book there. There was 2 coffee shops, this one in Nicholson's. Nicholson's was owned by her brother-in-law. Now, a first edition signed copy of The Philosopher's Stone went to auction last year and sold for the record-breaking £125,000. So this is stop number 9. If you're upstairs and you want off this bus, now is the time to leave. Gordon, do we have anybody downstairs? Again, I'm going to say yes because I'm afraid to say no today. Just know that it's right in front of me. But if that's okay with you, it's okay with me. Scotland opens daily, 10 in the morning till 5 o'clock, but last entry's 4:15. So you would certainly not see much in 45 minutes, but it should certainly be on your radar. Right hand side between the 2 buildings, there is a bridge. Looks like the Bridge of Sighs in Venice. They're age 14. But if you remember a movie from 1981 called Chariots of Fire, well, the interior scenes were filmed here, of course, the beach scenes in St Andrews on West Beach. Now, if you're going to stand up, just be careful. Just know it's a moving bus. If this bus comes to a halt, somebody's going to get hurt. Now, we're going to turn left. But if the bus was to go right, it would take us to the south, it would take us all the way down to southern Scotland, but just behind the building on the right is the Festival Theatre. And also across the road from Festival Theatre, you've got the Surgeons' Hall Museum. Now this museum is not free, but it's very, very good. If anybody's interested in medicine, pathology, dentistry, anatomy, this should be on your radar because it's one of the finest in the world. It's called the... what did I just call it? Surgeons' Hall Museum. Are you interested in medicine? Because this is very, very good. You're a dentist, so it's all about dentistry, anatomy and pathology. Just put into your fancy phone, Surgeons' Hall Museum. And it's just, if you look up to the right, across from where you see the advertisements for Peter Fan. And it's a beautiful building as well. Now this is a bridge. As we come along it doesn't feel like a bridge, but you will notice here there is a visible archway. So either side of us, these buildings, there are 18 archways that we cannot see from this level, but if you were to go down the streets either side of us, you will see much, much more. Today there is a haunted pub, escape room, comedy clubs. You can do a walking tour beneath the building here on the left-hand side into the vaults. So if you have a wee look to the left, you'll see what I mean, because the street runs down to beneath is the Cow Gate. I hear another piper. They're out in full force today. Now, if you look to the right-hand side, there is a music venue called Whistle Binky, so that's actually beneath that building. Opens every day till 3 AM in the morning. But see, if you come here in August, it opens till 6 AM in the morning. now stays up till 6 o'clock in the morning. Most nights, if I'm not in my tartan onesie by 7:30, something's gone terribly wrong. But there's tons of live music here in Edinburgh. Just Google it. We've just passed the jazz bar for jazz and blues. When we were in the university part of town, there's about 3 traditional pubs where you get live. Also, if anybody wants to try traditional haggis, we've got the haggis box. We've got the Museum of Childhood. Anybody wants to get fitted for a kilt, now is the time to do it. Have you ever worn the kilt? It's wonderful. How it works, I'm not sure. When it's cold, it keeps you warm. When it's hot, it keeps you cool. Absolutely, I used the word if anyone. I didn't say if he or she or they or them or anything. I just said, I know a man round here, his name is Bill. He's been doing it for 40 years. If you have a 5-minute conversation with him, 10 to 12 weeks later, you have a brand new kilt coming through the door. And again, as we come down the hill, if you look to the right-hand side, you'll notice there's another street down that hill full of things to explore. So one more time, does anybody want stop number 10? No, we're all good upstairs. Now, if you look to the right-hand side where it says Museum of Childhood, today it's run by Edinburgh Council, but that was established in the 1950s. The man that established it had no children. Single man, didn't like children, but he founded the first Museum of Childhood in the world. Now, I don't know when it happens, but I've turned into my dad. I'm okay with that, but I'm glad I didn't turn into my grandfather, because he was almost Victorian, and when he was alive it was a case of kids should be seen and not heard. So that kind of dates back and before that as well. Now if you look into the corner left hand side, there's some very, very old buildings. So these have been restored clearly, but these would have been the houses of wealthy merchants in the 1400s, 1500s. One of them is known as the John Knox House. That's where you'll see the sign for Storytelling Centre. And that's where the haggis box is as well. So the haggis box sells authentic haggis, neeps and tatties, so potatoes, also turnips, and it costs just under £10, £9.50. Now there's also, just here on the left hand side, one of the old wells, because remember there was a time the old town didn't have any running water, so we built a reservoir at the top for some of these wells. Also there was a time that the old town didn't have any flushing toilets. Maybe that's one of the reasons it was known as Old Reeky, Old Smelly. And of course the smoke from the chimneys, that would have helped as well. Now if there are any new arrivals downstairs, welcome on board. My name is John. Our driver is Gordon. If you're downstairs, I'm going to ask you not to be standing up, just to be safe in your seats so nobody gets hurt. Now this part of the Royal Mile is known as Cannon Gate. Left or right hand side, we've just passed the White Horse, dates back to 1742, so that was a coaching inn. Today it's a trendy seafood restaurant. In the 1700s, oysters were cheap as chips, they were peasant food. Today in that restaurant you'll pay £20 for 6 oysters. Now as we're coming down this wonderful stop number 11 is for the Museum of Edinburgh, the People's Story told with Tavern. This is one of my favourite stops. Look at the old buildings, right hand side. Now it's free to go in and have a look in this building. It tells you a lot more than I can tell you in an hour and 10 minutes about Edinburgh, its history, its characters. Bakehouse Close, which is part of that building, was used in the filming of Outlander, if you've seen the TV series. Now the next stop is for anybody that's going to the Palace of Holyrood House, anybody that wants to have a wee look at the Scottish Parliament. Now if you're downstairs and you fancy this stop, just ring the bell, make sure you leave nothing behind. Guys upstairs, if you want this stop, you just wave at me. Now, I'm not hearing any bells from downstairs. Nobody's waving upstairs. Now, the building, right-hand side with the red tiles. This building is 17th century, so dates back to the 1600s. It could not be knocked down. It's got architectural merit. It's very important. So this was amalgamated, if that's the right word, into the building of the new Parliament, which just is here on the right-hand side. Now this building would have opened a fish back around this way, so if you want to look up to the right hand side, you've got the cliff just behind it. You can see people at the top. That's Arthur's Seat, Edinburgh's tallest point, 250 metres. Just over 800 feet. It takes an hour to get to the top, an hour to get back down again. You have to dress for all 4 seasons in one day, and I'll be honest, today I think you'll be fine, but it's going to be cold up there. We've just gone through a set of gates. Years ago these would have been locked, but since a millennium this park has been open to the public, a gift from Her Majesty the Queen. This park is 640 acres. It's got 3 locks within. Today it's used for exercise, recreation, also walking the dog. Now the Botanic Gardens is 70 acres, Edinburgh Zoo is 80 acres, that's only 3 parks, and look how much space. If you add up all the green space in Edinburgh, it comes to just under 50%. Right hand side, the structure that looks like a castle, this dates back to the time of Queen Victoria. She was not happy that there was a dirty, smoky, smelly brewery in her front garden. So they built this wall, this castle, just to keep it happy. And of course the breweries have all gone. The last one that have been here would have been Scottish Newcastle in the 1990s. Also this would have been the site of British Gas, so very industrial. This visitor attraction, right hand side, looks a wee bit like the O2 in London, the dome. That makes sense because it was built at the same time. This was our Millennium Project, so this is all about science, geology. If it's something you're interested in, have a wee look at the website. It's a planetarium. Last year they added an exhibition all about the world's oceans, but it's pretty cool. Even if you just hopped off and read the big stones and looked at the standing stones, the wee picture beside the Geo Garden, I think this is a nice wee stop actually. Nobody's waving, no bells from downstairs. So this is stop number 13. Scotland. It should have been the new Parliament. We could have saved ourselves a lot of money, because that building, when it was first built, not this one, but the Parliament that we've just seen, should have cost 40 million. In the end it cost 10 times as much. So I reckon they missed a trick here. And of course they wanted to knock this down. It wasn't possible. This building is way too much important. The Parthenon. It was supposed to be a full-size monument, but we got 12 columns. We ran out of money. So it looks like the Parthenon does today. And you can actually climb this hill. It's not very difficult if you just take your time. This one will take about 10 minutes to get to.
So Karen is turning left here onto Queen Street. Well, not immediately. She will be. It gives me time to look straight ahead. That's St Stephen's Church, that's going down into 14. That is the house where Alexander Graham Bell was born. He was the son of Edinburgh. Apparently his mother was profoundly deaf. He wanted to make a hearing aid for his mother. He was experimenting with electromechanical devices and he failed. It what he did produce was a working version of the telephone that he patented, created the Bell Corporation, which still exists today. If you're from the States, it's 100 years after an Irish monk, St Columba, brought Christianity to Scotland. Now, Scotland as a kingdom didn't exist then, I told you earlier. Scotland was formed in the year 843, that makes Scotland one of the oldest countries in Europe. In the early 1800s, Edinburgh was a centre of excellence for studying medicine, pathology, anatomy. Over 85% of UK doctors qualified right here in Scotland.
Oh, berarti ini ancient ya? Maksudnya klasik ya? Klasik ya? Ya kan? Wool.
vandalism.
From the tower. Oxford. The tower. On the other side. Oh, bar. Everything is expensive here.
What is in behind this? I don't know.
What's this?
Yeah, I think maybe we follow this.
Jadi yang dulu orang kaya di rumah teman-teman itu standar.
30 years of female students at Balliol. So female students only 30 years ago were allowed. On your left you will see the master's lodging. The head of the college. The old servants' quarters above are now student rooms, and the college office occupies the ground floor.
So what's this?
Junior common room. Earlier, no? I think later we can go back.
Foto di sini kayak yang tadi, Res.
Ya.
Huh?
Take foto from there.
Okay. Oh, toilets. This is the port to Hualang Bay.
Kita mana di perapat kayak gini, Rik?
Iya ya, sekolah dibikin kayak gini ya. Iya kan, Lin?
Iya.
Cantik ya, beautiful.
discovery this cave. And this cave there are 3 chambers. This cave there are 3 chambers. The first chamber is about 300 square meters. The second chamber bigger than the first chamber, over 400 square meters. Over 400 square meters. The biggest chamber, last chamber, the third chamber with over 10,000 square meters. You're going to take picture. The last chamber you have better view to take picture. And now when you walk inside the cave, it's beauty subtight. There's a teeth. And it's beauty subtight. There's a teeth from the floor going up. It looks like something. For example, which one look like the phoenix? Which one look like the dragon? Which one look like the turtle? Which one look like the unicorn? Or which one look like the beautiful jellyfish or dolphin? Depend on, right? But just imagination. And any question, Madam Sir? Any question? No. Food. Oh, right, exactly. Okay, any question? Food is something good for eat. Good to eat, but here is food. Okay. Any question? No? Okay, thank you so much for listening, and I'll keep going, please.
Okay.
This thing is look like how a baby upside down.
I love you. Okay. Like in China mountain. How was that? And there is a leg look like this, Alexander the Great. Yeah, next to Buddha. Yeah.
And because there's some little girl, there's some single girls or single boys. They left money here because some of them is single boy, a single man, single girl, single lady. Put money here, touch to head, and then today single, but tomorrow the man get is the girl get is 2 boyfriends, and then the man he got 10 girlfriends. So which one's better? 2 boyfriends better?
Come on, Lee.
2 girlfriends is better?
Tomorrow you have a boyfriend here. Come on, put your fortune here.
No! Nothing will happen. You didn't touch it. So.
Where we got that? They really will play something different, yeah.
So they
Yeah, they do. Because if they do bad things, then, yeah. No, WC.
Oh, good, WC. Good, very good to remember. So what's my mission?
Your mission?
No,
To
tour
show-
guide.
to
Tour
guide.
guide.
Tour
English
guide,
tour guide,
yeah.
thank you. And another small question. Do you know where's Romeo and Juliet?
Where are they?
Where are they now?
In the,
Dead.
In the
Really?
La la. No, we don't know where are they.
Oh. So do you want to know where are they now?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Now they're kissing and then they're falling in love. Behind you.
Ah, there. That rock.
Oh.
In the window. In the window.
Use your imagination.
Romeo and Juliet.
Romeo and Juliet.
Kiss. Where are they now? Here.
You don't say this, you're part.
With the sunlight, beautiful, right? With the sunshine. And then because before a few days ago, this area is rain. So the rainwater cover here. So this corner is look like the waterfall here. Beautiful view. Right? And because of this corner is look like special picture. That's why there's some picture called this corner is a special picture because in the center of the picture, Mr. Simba standing over there.
Yeah, that was very
Which one is look like elephant? Which one look like is a bear? Which one look like monkeys?
It's true.
A little bit elephant, no? Elephant, yeah? Yeah.
the bad.
This one, you see? A little bit down the green elephant.
I like Simba.
Simba the very
Similar.
Simba is like the best one.
Yeah.
So that over there, that's the Badlands.
Where's King Kong now?
King Kong.
King Kong is from July.
Yeah, because King Kong. Great Some islands.
Es que es eso en el fondo. Simba de profundidad. Es solo que no paga la luz.
He's holding on.
Really start Simba kan? Monyet kan? Enggak. Singa, sorry. Simba ya, Simba.
Nama Simba.
Oh ya Simba, ya. Simba is cerita ini kan? Afrika. Apa tuh film apa nama judulnya sih? Lupa aku. King Kong?
See where the King Kong?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, the feet.
Exactly. Because now the King Kong City was there.
His city.
King Kong feet.
Yeah.
Because this view looks so beautiful. That's why King Kong City was there.
Okay.
Sea view.
King Kong, the feet of King Kong. The feet.
Just a feet of King Kong. Did you see that?
Ils arrivent tous là.
It's dark.
Colon cut careful.
Tiene la boca.
Akala ko doon na berdala niya itu terus.
Rồi bố điện thoại anh xong một biển ấy.
Jadi anak bot gini sih. Orang Cina
qua cái hang kia đấy hả?
Orang itu sehat kali ya pola hidupnya. Ya lah kalau mereka di Cina itu mereka tuh ini selalu senang, tapi itu nari-nari mampu ekonomi dan berpengetahuan.
能干。就是上里边转一圈，这里边看着完了就出来。对对对。但是也走不出去，它是一个封闭的，这唯一的一条路，我也不错。这种体验的话也是第一次，没地儿体验去，就是独一无二。
Senang kali kayak gini.
Kan mertusnya bukan mau kan dia kapalnya bagus, makannya sedikit. Đấy mà còn sedikit kan cuma sengaja naik kan bazar itu. Ini tahu dah. Kita macam boleh. Cuma ini macam ayo. Đây là cái bài như nào?
Cái gì ấy con họ đấy.
Đấy, Tổ quốc Việt Nam mình đấy. Đấy, cách mạng đấy.
Sama sih ya, view-nya ya, naik kayaknya ini juga ya.
Đi vòng quay ra mà.
Vâng. Tí đâu? Tí ở góc đằng kia. Ở đây gọi là hang nguồn, còn dốc là tự khác. Không, đây vào trong này xem thử rồi.
Đi thử rồi.
Tí nữa. Chưa được gì rồi à?
Đã mua phẳng rồi.
Hỏi cái đầu tí đức cho bà dùng như mày vụ không?
你要自己划桨啊，就是你自己也可以洗澡啊，可以划得远点啊。今天您划不了。很잘 찍네. 됐어. 뭐这样差不多。后搁在后头就行。哎，好好好。